Hey, Jeff Howard here at Kiteboarding.com, and I've got a lot of people who have questions about what I explained on a trim adjustment, depowering, chicken loop line, whatever it is. Now, I want to explain so I can clear this up. A lot of people say that I was wrong or right. Well, hey, I'm just trying to explain it so a lot of people understand. I don't like it when a lot of people call the strap that's up here a depower strap. I don't call it that. I call it a trim strap. And that's more so you get out the depower thought in your mind. All that does is it does give you a throw along the line, the chicken loop line. It's called the trim because if you'll watch. So what I'm doing is I'm slightly loaded here. Here's the trim. Watch the position. What it does is it changes along the chicken loop line where the kite will power and where the kite will depower. So depower, as we all know, the max depower of any kite, any inflatable out there, is when your back lines go slack. That is the max depower. That is set by the manufacturer how that kite will change angle of attack. So once your lines go slack, your kite is in its max depower position. The downside of that is, as soon as you get to that point, you're not steering the kite effectively. And that's what can put a lot of people into the danger zone. So what we want to do is I want to explain to you. There's a trim here. This is, again, I call this the trim, not the depower strap. I call it the trim strap. And what that does is I'm holding tension. As I pull this in, watch what the bar does. So if this is neutral, powered up, or whatever it is that I feel, if I want to change that position, then I pull in on the trim strap and that scoots the bar down. So the same point of which my kite is angle of attack, now this angle of attack is now here. So that's the most important part. So when you go to depower, that same depower point, my back lines are slacker here. If I want that to change, then I let this bar, let the trim strap out, and now that point. So that was the most explanation. A lot of people say, this will allow me to depower my kite more. No, it will not. The bar, once I am out here, all it does is if my shoulders are forward, that's depower. My lines are slack. I want to change that position so I'm not scrunched over. I tell a lot of people, adjust your trim strap. So your power and depower is the motion of your arms, not the motion of your shoulders. That's a huge thing when you're riding. I get a lot of people. So that's explaining the trim strap adjustment. And this is on every single bar that's out there. It's a trim adjustment to change the position where the kite will depower along the chicken loop line. So I will have so many people out there and they're riding and their shoulders are forward. As soon as your shoulders are forward, your edge control of your board goes to almost zero. And all you're doing, you'll see people skipping downwind. Get your shoulders back at all times. If you're ever riding like this, adjust that trim strap so now your shoulders are even with your hips or behind them. And then you have your depower here, and then you have your power up being pulling in. So that is the most important part about learning to adjust your trim strap, is the position of your shoulders. If you're at all like this, pull that thing in. Change that position where the kite will power and depower along the chicken loop line or the depower line by adjusting your trim strap. So I want to explain that and just make sure everybody understands that. I don't like a lot of people saying, oh, I've seen so many people say, oh, I'm going to go out there, I've got a lot of adjustment, I got my depower, my kite's too big. No, that's the problem. People will get that false in their head that, oh, I still got some depower to put into the kite. Soon as your lines go slack, there is no more depower. That is it, and that angle of attack is set by that manufacturer. Anyway, just want to share some knowledge with you, try to help those who don't understand how to use their system correctly, and get out there and enjoy on the water. Anyway, that's Jeff Howard here at Kiteboarding.com.